Hi everyone, it's me, Thom. Welcome to another Trains Are Awesome video. It is Christmas break for me, and that means it's time for another flight review. So I'm at Gerald R. Ford International Airport in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and today I'm flying to Washington, D.C. with United. And the cool thing about today's flight is it's on an Embraer. I believe it's a 135, but I'll check that for you. And the Embraer 135s and 145s have a cool seating configuration. They are actually 1x2s. Most planes are 2x2, 3x3, 3x4x3, all that stuff. But this one is one seat and then two seats and then the aisle in the middle, which I've never done before. And so when I was checking into this flight, I made sure to sit on the one side. So I got a window seat and an aisle seat at the same time. So I'm excited about that. Also, you'd think flying this much would make goodbyes easier. Not really, I don't think they'll ever be easy, but one thing you don't have to say goodbye to is Trains Are Awesome. Because even after this video, we're going to keep uploading train reviews mostly, a couple flight reviews every once in a while, and there's always going to be cool content. So if you haven't already, subscribe to Trains Are Awesome, please. Also got a funny story about here at Gerald R. Ford. I walked through the security and the alarm triggered, and I look at the screen and there's just this giant red right on what they called my groin. So they spent about 5 minutes explaining to me how they were going to pat me down, and then they did, and I mean it was uncomfortable, but not the first time. And then I asked them what they were checking, and they were like, we're just making sure you don't have any traces of explosives on your crotch. I don't. Hey, we're on time, which is good, because 7 a.m., 7:30 p.m. Not us, we're on time. That was the quickest boarding process I've ever been through. It's so tiny! So I just said, hey, look. I stand corrected, it's a 145.
Yeah.
Honestly, look how low to the ground we are. This is the tiniest plane I've ever been on.
And large portable electronic devices need to be turned off and stowed. Small lightweight devices.
This plane is so small. I've got a window seat and an aisle seat. I can't wait to take off. And we were off. Really, the major difference between other aircraft I've been on is how low to the ground you feel when you're taxiing. In the air on this flight, we hardly had any turbulence, so thankfully I didn't get to experience what that must be like on a tiny plane. We flew over the states of Indiana, Ohio, West Virginia, and Virginia, and because it was a clear day, I got to enjoy the view for most of the flight. We got one snack on board this United Airlines flight, the regular pretzels. You'll never hear me complain about these, they're always good. honestly, the bathroom is not the place to notice that this is a small plane. It's about as big as regular plane bathrooms. I guess airlines just want to save as much space as they can with these, so they can carry as many people as possible. Makes a lot of sense. This does not make sense, though. What the heck? Now, to get a good sense of how tiny this plane is, I decided to walk through it, and my head kept grazing the ceiling. In about 2 hours, the fasten seatbelt sign was on, and we began our descent into Washington, D.C. Now, we flew over the Virginia landscape until I looked out the window and recognized a very familiar building. That's right, that's the U.S. Capitol, folks. I thought it was pretty cool to see that from the sky. And while I was still proud of myself for spotting it, the plane had already touched down at Washington Dulles International Airport. Over there is a UPS McDonnell Douglas. I haven't seen one of those in ages. Now, the funny thing about Dulles Airport is what's running on the tarmac. Obviously, there's planes, there's service cars, but there's also these monsters. I could not figure out what these were until I researched it, and they are giant buses, giant elevated buses that run from the terminal. To put things into perspective, here's a private jet that was smaller than the plane I was on. And here's a private jet that was even tinier. Look, I just walked down those cute steps on the tarmac here at Washington Dulles Airport. And now it's airport train time. And I have a transfer here. I gotta go from gates A to C. So I'm at Washington Dulles Airport. About the flight I was just on, the Embraer 145. It was cute. Like, it was so tiny. Like, there were just about 20-something rows. The ceiling was really low. We were really low to the ground. There was only one flight attendant on board, and I liked it. Like, just to be at a single seat, I've never experienced that before. And though I don't mind sitting next to other people on flights, like, it was just cool to be able to say that I had both a window seat and an aisle seat at the same time. And then I will see you next time.